Bo Bichette, after losing out on that skunk Kyle Tucker, they just signed Bo Bichette, and according to reports, he's going to be playing third base for the Mets. That's what JP Morosi is saying. And of course, it makes all the sense. He's 27 years old. He's going to be 28 years old in March, so he's a very young player still. And this is a very good move by the Mets because I was not. I think I made it very clear um, on Thursday night that I did not really was not a big fan of of Kyle Tucker. I didn't think he was a fit here as a player. I didn't think he was really any kind of fit whatsoever. And now we have a good player who is an excellent player. Let's go through the numbers. I was surprised at how many home runs he has over his career. Let me read you here. 111 home runs. And again, he's 27 years old. Started playing with the Blue Jays at 21, so he's very, very young. He is the kind of player that David Stearns likes, a young player that's a free agent. Hello, Cosmo Carbone, NY Mets 972. Now, I don't know about Bellinger, my friend, but the fact that they got this guy, he can hit. 294 hitter. He's led the league in hits twice in 2021 and 22. He was leading the league in hits this past year, but obviously he got hurt. He had some injuries. 94 RBIs this year. He just had a great year. 44 doubles, 1 triple, 18 home runs, and 94 RBIs. Just awesome numbers for a shortstop. Now, he's going to be playing third for the Mets. I'm going to assume they're going to move Brett Beatty to first, which is funny. I've been sort of talking about this off and on the Baseball too. That if they were to pick him up, that they would play him at third. Be interesting to see, because from what I can see here, he's not played third in the major leagues. So, there'll be an adjustment for him. But boy, oh boy, what a huge pickup. Let me get to the chat. An irresistible chicken sandwich. Good afternoon, Mr. Hutt. Steve Cohen probably woke up very angry at last night's debacle. Bellinger bidding next up. Well, that's a different story. But you know that Steve was pissed off last night. Because Steve doesn't normally put any post out. He doesn't tweet anything out. And you knew he was irritated with the weight. He knew, because of his own experience with bidding, he knew he was being bid against. They were trying to get the money up. Muttley in love. What's up there, Muttley? How you doing, my friend? Hit the bell. The bell is being rung. It's a big move for the Mets. This was something that needed to happen. Now, they're giving him a lot of money. $42 million for I guess, next 3 years. 3 years, $126 million. He's a good player, but I wouldn't go that far. Let me read you a couple of things here. Said 300. Well, a couple of these years was kind of, I guess, was hurt. A couple of these years, but he's a very good player. He'll play third for the Mets. OPS over his career is 121. The Mets need a right-handed bat in this lineup, and that's what they got. NY Mets 972. Nobody knew anything about this in the media. It's definitely out of left field. Well, they probably were talking to him. The Mets have a lot of sort of, irons in the fire, as it were. And this was probably one of those that this was the pivot if they lost out on Tucker. And like I said, I think Steve was really super pissed last night, because once he said something about this whole situation, about waiting and mocking it, you knew. I guess he knew from his own experience with bidding, for different deals that the Mets weren't going to get it, and they were getting tired of waiting around. And isn't that funny? They took him from the Phillies. Ha 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 ha. They took him from the Phillies. Ha ha ha. MU91 says that Dodgers the Mets a favor of signing Tucker. Again, my friend, I was not a big Tucker fan. I don't think he can handle it here. Bichette is a different story. I think he can handle it here. He's got a bit of a better personality, quite frankly. Now, of course, please hit the like button. If you're happy the Mets did this move today, hit the like button. I'm not going to be on long because I got a lot of stuff going on here at the hut. I was about to have lunch when this came down. I'm doing my laundry. I don't think you want to see me folding my underpants, my britches, anytime soon. But he's an excellent player. He's got a lot of his father's flair to him to a degree. Um, I would mention that he's one of these guys that he's a high energy player. Now, what kind of a leadership player he is, I don't know. I do know with Simeon here, he's going to be sort of the leader on this club. That's why I didn't like Tucker. I didn't think Tucker was a fit here. He's a blend-in guy, okay? He's a guy that does well in a situation where he's playing with great players. Bichette's been with great players, but he can stand on his own. Joseph Estevez, 1398, says he's a beast. He is. He's good. And like I said, he's going to have a lot of hits here. I would think that the Mets will probably bat him second in this lineup. Let me just go through his numbers a little bit. Just as an aside. 294 batting average, 337 on base percentage, 469 slugging percentage, 806 OPS. But the batting average is 294 of his career. That's really good. I would think that they'll probably bat him in the middle of the lineup, I think. Just looking at the numbers, he might be the cleanup hitter on this team. I don't know if they're going to sign Bellinger now. But this certainly just sort of clears the decks a little bit, shuts some people up. And Bellinger and the Yankees, I think he's going to go back to the Yankees just based off of just reading the tea leaves. I think he's going to go back to the Yankees. I think he would be very interesting to have here. To build a very strong lineup with Bellinger here. I think that would give them an extremely very formidable lineup. But I don't think that will happen now. I think that this was like an easier pivot. And like I said, Bichette is 27 years old right now. He's not going to be 28 for another 2 months. This is interesting. John Heyman, the Boris Whisperer. Mets see Brett Beatty playing multiple positions, including third. Interesting. Now, the Blue Jays lost out on 2 players in the last 12 hours. Or 15 hours. MLB Draft, they posted this. The Mets reportedly signing Bo Bichette. The Blue Jays would receive a compensation pick after the 4th round. And New York would lose its 2nd and 5th highest selections, as well as $1 million. That sucks. But the Mets brought in. I would think that the Mets signing one of the ads again, it kind of sort of puts this at ease a little bit. Losing some of these draft picks. I hate losing these picks, but 27 years old, and then he's got an opt-out after the second year. So if he's got an opt-out after the second year, he'll be 29 years old when he goes back on the open market. Well, that's a smart deal. Buster Only posted this kind of a lineup for the Mets. I don't like Buster Only. I'm gonna do a video on the baseball hut too on John Harper. And when the smoke's coming out of his ears, it's gonna come out of his ears once I do that video. Lindor, Soto, Bichette, Polanco, Vientos, Simeon, Alvarez, Taylor, and Benj. And I don't know about that. Still missing something. SNY's posted, and they have not come on TV yet, but they said they were going to come on. Bo Bichette is expected to play third base for the Mets, according to multiple reports. He's such a good player, boy. He's a good player. Let me see some other things. He's got 60 stolen bases. He's a 20-20 man in 21. He's a good player. I'm very happy about this move. Mike Lopez says, do you see Tucker taking over the third batting spot? Who the hell cares? Who cares, dude? The hell out of here. F the Dodgers. Fuck the Dodgers. The hell out of here. Hit the bricks. Christopher Horn said, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? From Cosmo. Thanks for all you do, Hud. We appreciate it. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, so he had 44 doubles this past year. They could bat third, but I'd bat him clean up. I like stretching out the lineup. I liked it when Soto was batting third. It was perfect. You just have to figure out who you're going to bat second. Maybe you bat Simeon second. I don't know. But I just wanted to come on here and do this little live stream for you. And this is a very interesting, very good move by the Mets. He said over 20 home runs 3 times in his career, 29 and 21, 24, 20. And 18 this past year, he was dealing with some kind of injury. I guess to his elbow, I guess. 129 OPS plus for this year. And like I said, he's going to be 28 years old this year in 2 months. So meaning, in other words, he'll be hitting the market. I guess he's 29 years old. So this is a good move for him. It's a great move for the Mets. And of course, please like this video and subscribe if you're coming through. Just want to do this quick video, like I said, just to get you out and get this news out there. Excuse me. It was a rough night. Last night was a rough night, and I was listening to the radio. I gotta listen to the radio now because I got the baseball at 3. I gotta follow what they talk about. I thought even Evan was gonna cry this morning. He's I'm pissed off. And I some of the WFAN, I guess Danielle McCartan, I posted on X that she's complaining that the Mets have lost the offseason. They don't keep score in the offseason. Only the media does. So, you read more in the chat. Aristo says, hi. From Rahway, New Jersey. Who to sign next? Happy the Mets no sign. Lucky. Oh, okay. English, folks. God. Michael Jensen, hit between Soto and Bellinger. Well, Bellinger isn't here yet. And I don't know what kind of effect that's going to have. They might be done. They might, at this point, they might go and get somebody like Harrison Bader for the outfield now. Or maybe they go after Lars Newport. I can see them doing that. Those are things I could definitely see the Mets doing now. Going after making smaller moves. Peter Hefferman Madison says, he's a great, let me say your name right. Sorry. Peter Hefferman. He's a great pickup. Drop my glasses on the floor. Should really wear my contacts on these videos. Rich Bummy says better love than Tucker. Master of Coin XRP says Jaron Duran. Interesting. One of my subs, he's very good. A Project says there is a fit there between the Mets and the Red Sox, but it's interesting with all the moves the Red Sox have made, they need pitching. Twisted Dream says Seiya Suzuki is the guy to trade for. James Ennison, love this move. There's still gotta be a trade to be made with so many infielders, maybe for Peralta. That's a possibility. But then bringing in Bichette. Bichette is a better player than at this point than Beatty. Maybe you move Beatty. Maybe the Mets just decide, just bite the bullet. I mean, he has more value at this point than Vientos or Luis and Hill. I don't care what Acuña's doing in Venezuela, in the Winter League. It can't be that bad in Venezuela if they're playing games in Venezuela. It can't be that bad. But anyway, definitely the Mets are going to be making some kind of trade for pitching. Peralta's the obvious guy. Now they have more infield depth than they had last night. So the Mets keep adding on to this infield depth. That's why the whole trade for Semien was such a surprise, because they didn't really need a second baseman. But I'm starting to wonder if they're going to make a move in that regard. So keep an eye on this. Mets might be very active today. Wow, look at this. This is from Bob Nightingale. The Phillies had agreed to Bo Bichette's request for a 7-year, $200 million deal last night and believed they would sign him until the Mets swooped in with their 3-year, $126 million offer after losing out in the Kyle Tucker sweepstakes. Holy shit. So the Phillies had a deal. They had a deal. And the Mets said, well, why don't you take this 2-year deal for $84 million and you can go back on the market. Good. Fuck the Phillies. Like that guy said last night about the Mets. This is from Michael Marino. Bo Bichette has an unbelievable bat, but one thing about his profile is pretty clear. He's a terrible defender. He's 4th percentile in fielding run value and posted a negative 13 OAA. Now, I would mention he's not going to be playing shortstop. He's always been a shortstop. He's not short. He's a terrible shortstop. But if you can get him to move to third, and he's played second in the minor leagues, But he's going to play second with the Mets. $42 million is from the Scott Boras whisperer, John Heyman. $42 million non-deferred is a big number, but Mets saw the Bichette opportunity this way. Ready to get premium player on short-term deal. Right-handed hitting continues balancing lineup. Elite clubhouse presence and competitor. That was huge. Especially the type of guy they want on team. Well, that's good to know. Elite clubhouse presence. That's from his father. That's from being around the game his whole life. You know. So that above everything else is the most important thing. But that's crazy. The Phillies had him signed. Phillies had him signed. Wow. Let me hold on a second. Sorry for the size. Just reading a couple of things. But, yeah, I mean, the fact that they took him from the Phillies is even sweet. I'm going to think that Beatty could be on the move, you know. Because they signed Polanco to be... It's crazy how this infield is. And, I think they kind of look at it that it's more about sort of the attitude of this team, how bad this attitude was for all these years. And my glasses are terrible tonight. I can't see shit. I gotta wear my other ones. But the fact that the Mets were able to do this, first of all, they steal them from the Phillies. They're able to sort of not be hamstrung by the money long term. You'll get pre-prime and prime numbers from this kid. If he's healthy, you're going to get 190 hits, maybe 200 hits with this team for the next 2 years. 90 RBIs, 20, 25 home runs. Good presence in the clubhouse. That is huge. Having a big presence in that clubhouse is huge. So that's important. We can't sort of forget that. And it still kind of leaves some wiggle room for some other things. But the Phillies must be pissed off beyond belief. The Phillies are probably beyond belief pissed off because they had this guy for 7 years, $200 million. They're fools. Don't give any of these players 7 years. But then in the live stream, because I got stuff to do, but I just wanted to come on here and, of course, just say hello to everybody. Hi, how are you? Bruce City, not nice, man. Just think, these are grown men coming in here, and these are guys in their 40s and 50s talking like this. You don't put up with this kind of crap. Michael Jensen says, Valdez in trade. I don't know. But they're definitely going to make a pitching move because they need to make a trade here. They definitely need a trade. And the Mets definitely need to make a trade. And I think they will make a trade. So keep an eye on them today. I'm so glad I'm home today. So glad I'm home. So glad I'm home today to get my reaction and your reaction. But this is a good move by the Mets because they needed a right-handed bat in this lineup. I was not sold on the way this lineup was configured over the last couple of days. I was not happy with this thing with Tucker. I'm going to tell you straight out. Okay? Just based on his persona that he has and to see how irritated the owner was getting last night. That tells you everything you need to know about the situation. So, let me just run through a couple of things before I go. This is no deferral, so he gets plus $5 million opt-out after the second year. He gets 2 opt-outs. Holy shit. So he could play with the Mets for 1 year, make $42 million, plus $5 million on an opt-out, and he could leave. That's fine. That's fine. And a full no-trade clause. NYC Buzz 22, how you doing, buddy? So he got a 2-year deal, a 3-year deal, with 2 opt-outs. Okay, he's got a 2-year deal a 3-year deal with 2 opt-outs, so he can opt out next year. What the hell would he want to sign a 7-year deal and make $47 million for that first year? And if he leaves, hey, let's have so much talent in the minor leagues they could sort of move on. He goes to somewhere else. NYC Buzz 22 says, I guess I wasn't the one who didn't want Tucker. And big clubhouse guy. I'm very happy that he's a clubhouse guy because we had major problems here. We had to have somebody to get this whole team in line. And obviously the Mets don't have a leader with Francisco Lindor. So sorry to say. And we all know that Soto's a quiet guy. That's not a bad thing. He's just a quiet guy. Just wants to do his business. Well, I'm going to end the live stream here. It's good news, great news. And, of course, hit the like button before you go. And if you're watching on replay, leave comments in the comments section. If there's any kind of more moves today, if there's any more moves, I'd like to see Lindor get traded too. But, so the Mets really have Bichette for 1 year for $47 million. Because if he has a big year with the Mets, he'll opt out. He'll get the $5 million opt-out, and that's it. But, I'll be back later at some point doing something. And we'll talk about the Mets later. But this is good news. And, of course, thank you for watching. Be back later, and I don't know what. And this is good. Have a good day. I'm going to have my lunch. Didn't do my laundry. The excitement never ends here, folks. It never ends here at the Baseball Hut. Have a good day.